Okay, we are live. Hi, everyone. I'm Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot and very happy to be here today. So I have Amanda Quimper, and she goes by Amanda Joan of Heart, and she's a filmmaker, and we're going to find out more about her. So we met at the recent Full Disclosure conference, and I guess you're going to be interviewing me next week sometime or something like that, or whenever it works. And I decided to do a preliminary interview with you. So we're gonna do that. So welcome to the show. And maybe you, if you don't mind, could you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. And my name is Amanda Joan Quimper. I'm also known as Amanda Joan of Heart. I'm the creator of awakenandunite.com, TV with purpose. I had a vision from God many years ago to do a television show helping women transition out of sex trafficking through a format reality television show after asking what my purpose was and why I was here. And I had just got off of opiates and had struggled with addiction and was asking what my purpose was. And after that, I never looked back, got off of opiates and started documenting multiple movements in history. Because of that, I've done over 50 events on the heroin and opiate epidemic, into multiple other movements in history. I had a ton of other spiritual experiences and revelations, started documenting the spiritual uprising and movement into the UFO and disclosure movement. I didn't realize how deep this was into, CPS and child trafficking, SRA, how to restore our republic, which is vital right now, and a lot of fraud, and more fraud. A lot of things I probably shouldn't say on YouTube. So,
Okay, well, I don't have any problems with anything because I just go live on YouTube. And then if there's something I think they'll object to, it goes on to my Rumble anyway. And Rumble pretty much, never interferes with any of my shows. So you have carte blanche to say anything you want. And don't worry about it. So with that in mind, let's start with how you got, so you had sort of a spiritual awakening after or during your opioid experience. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. During, I was even shown things, after I was shown a lot more that's going on. I have massive Inside the Great Awakening documentaries on all this subject matter. Obviously, I didn't know where to start. I just had to pitch my idea. I had the idea way before the vision from God because I had been a dancer off and on, and kept seeing girls in the clubs dying, and I wanted to help them. So I had already packaged TV show treatments. It's called. It's what you pitch to a network with. And to no avail, the networks wanted nothing to do with purposeful television. So I was like, what do you do with all this? Once I had the vision, years later, after, putting time and money and effort into this idea, I just did what I could with what I had, and so heroin went hand in hand with sex trafficking. So I started there. I lived in the heart of the heroin epidemic in Ohio here. And, I traveled all over the country just on, every chance I could get to go to events to try to, help with the heroin epidemic. Cause I want, I was a heroin addict, I wanted to help people if I could. And, a producer suggested that I started with some other modern moral issue and then go into helping traffic victims. So it made sense. And I started there. And then I started having all these other spiritual experiences and stuff. So then I was like, why stop here? So I started going to the UFO events and documenting a lot of the top whistleblowers on that. And, then the spiritual movement and uprising. So yeah, there's that on that page is my documentary, Amanda Jonah Hart. This page has also we want to this second video, we got the January 6th. I was there. I got paid actors on there, everything targeted individuals and gang stalking. That lady Desiree Foley right there is having events coming up here called it's called Mind Nexus Live .com, mindnexuslive.com. We're having an event at the end of September, and I'm hoping to film you there, Carrie, and because all my interviews are outside in nature. And she's putting on this event, and we really could use your support to waking up the people on all these bioweapons and everything else. Dr. Robert Duncan just passed away at the beginning of July here, was found in his apartment. His last Twitter post said he was compromised and that he was being told he can't talk about this stuff anymore. So he is in this documentary exposing this stuff with Desiree, and I have him on screen live on at this event here. But yeah, so that's also in my Great Awakening documentary on the documentaries page. Got tons of stuff on the vaccine, lots of doctors and whistleblowers. That's also on the the documentaries page. Has a massive Inside the Great Awakening documentary, which touches on a lot of these subjects too. But these are full documentaries on their full stories as well. Shell.
Okay. And so when you say, like I'm scrolling by, I have your site on my screen so people can see. So when like what I would call interviews, you're just calling it documentaries. Is that correct? Or is there something special?
Yeah, it's all edited though, like, edited. Some of them are documentaries. Yeah, they're basically documentary style edited, and it's intertwined with people. So I tried to make it not boring, so you're seeing multiple people talk about, their stories intertwined and so that it flows good and you get the overall idea of it. So yeah, if you go to the documentaries page, that's where the massive inside the Great Awakening documentaries are. There's a trailer right there that kind of packages it all, but you go below down at the bottom and there's the two. There's one UFO, spiritual UFO and disclosure mode movement inside the Great Awakening, and then you can just scroll to the left, and each one has a different topic. So I got the QAnon movement, you can into SRA, into child sex traffickers, into CPS, restoring the Republic, vaccines, and more whistleblowers on that. Fraud, and more fraud into the lockdowns, border walls.
Okay, you look like you covered quite a bit of information here. Now, so this is a website. Do you put your stuff on a Rumble? Do you have a Rumble channel?
Yeah, but all this stuff isn't up there yet. I don't trust anything. It's like I don't know what to do. Rumble, I would look up my name and you couldn't even find me. So I'm like, they're censoring too. Like, what do I do? It's just
well, I mean, you can just start uploading and see what happens. I don't know why they, I talk about the deepest, stuff and the most radical stuff on the planet, and they're not stopping me. So I don't think they would be stopping you, but, who can say what everyone's different, different people get approached in different ways. So,
Here's
So you've
ways to,
done these over the past, how many years have you been doing this now?
oh, over eight, I mean, 20 years in the making since the idea started, but the last 8 years or more, 9 years going on, I've went hardcore, over
Okay.
yeah. So I got things on restoring the Republic on my Republic page that we got to wake up to and start utilizing, going back to what our four founding fathers did. There's a video above that one, the lawful assemblies on the land, a little bit more. That's the history on it. Go one more up. Oh, he has them backwards. How to create a lawful assembly right there. That's important that we start doing that in our counties. Bilateral social compacts, we need to declare who the people are, who the people are not, because we're not this corporation. We shouldn't be. It should never been a corporation. So this we got to wake up on. We need bilateral social compacts per county and per state, um, and what the people want, what the people don't want.
Okay. Now, in how do you, I haven't seen your documentaries, but looking at them here. So how is it the way you operate? So do you bring on certain people and then interview them, or do you just ask questions off the camera, on the camera? What's your style?
I'm normally off the camera and I just get them and their story and what they want to share and whatever they want to share from their heart with the world, basically, that the people need to know or wake up to. And I just intertwine that with, other people's stuff sometimes, depending on what it is and how it works out with other people's footage and what they said on certain topics and subject matter. And I just make a story out of it so you get the overall idea of things. Trying to wake the people up. I've, had so many spiritual experiences. I've had God come to me in a dream and tell me this is God and I'm coming back and I'm coming back because, and started listing all this stuff our governments are doing, like over 10 or 20 things he listed to me in this dream. And, you know, at the end of it, he said, I'm coming back to do something about it. And then the clouds started forming and dragons, like in Revelations. And I had already had dreams where like Jesus appears to me and he's like healing my sister. And I don't know my sister's sick in real life. She's sick, just, sending emerald beams from his hands to her. And, I pull out my hands and I'm sending beams of light to her and just stuff you can't make up. And so after that dream where God came to me, I started looking around like what are our governments doing. And it was like one thing after another. I'm being revealed our governments are doing this and they're doing that and they're doing this and they're doing that. And so what do you do with that? Like you're supposed to like get on the rooftops and share with the world what God has shown you. So it's like all these other people are blowing the whistle. Maybe I need to blow the whistle. And so I just felt like I needed to share this stuff. And I had this vision from God to help traffic victims. I had no idea how deep this ran and how, it's infiltrated throughout our governments and they're trafficking children globally through our own judicial system and CPS. Like I had to go to a QAnon event, because QAnon came out. So then I had to document the whole QAnon movement. I have a beautiful documentary on that. It's all in those massive documentaries that we just looked at. What do you do? So I'm just doing, what I can with what I have and trying to make change on the planet and trying to go towards that vision from God to help these women. I don't have the funds really to put these women up in a house and, help them and put them through dynamic and unconventional strategies and help them learn, grow, discover, become more of who they are. That's what my treatments, were to put them up in a house. And, that's what my vision from God was. I was looking at these women, I could see, them lined up in front of me. And I didn't really know anything about trafficking at the time. I woke up, not woke up because I was wide awake during this vision. I got out of this vision and was like, where was the blondes and the brunettes? It didn't click until a long time later because I really didn't know anything about trafficking. And I'm like,
Mm.
it's all time, coming together. It's just, it's been real interesting. So Um,
So, how did you recover from your addiction? I guess is, assuming you did.
well, that time, the third time I was sober for 6 months, I was gonna go back out and use, and I was just praying, like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Like, and that's when I was shown the vision, and I never looked back. I got off of opiates finally, and that was like the third time getting off opiates. The first time, my mom made me go to her house, and uh, I was had prayed, for the first 3 days of detoxing, every second, every minute, every hour. It felt like I was asking, let me be healed and resurrected. If there's a Jesus, let me be healed and resurrected on the third day. Please, God, make this be easy. And I was miracle healed on the third day. An aura of emerald green light appeared hovering over me. My mom had prayed to Archangel Raphael, and I was miraculously healed on that third day. This I talking about in my documentary, Amanda Jonah Hart and stuff. And
Okay.
um,
So
yeah, it's
that
just,
so that that documentary is about your personal journey. Is that correct?
yeah, it goes through like some of the experience I've had, early in my addiction, even going into addiction. And maybe people will argue with me probably, but I felt I argued with God. I felt my entire being was like you. I wanted to help my friends and family. I had went out to California, moved home. All my friends were hooked on opiates in the 2 years that I was gone, and I didn't know what to do to help them, and they were hiding and lying to me about it. And it was like and I wanted to help them, and it was like I couldn't unless I like joined the crowd, and I felt guided to go down that path. And I remember arguing with God, like I'm not that stupid. I know this is heroin. Like, if this is where I'm supposed to go, then you better help me and you better help my family and friends get off of this. And I'm lucky that, some of my family members and friends are still alive. I lost one of my best girlfriends to fentanyl. But yeah, it's even after I got on them early in my addiction, Archangel Michael appeared to me. I tell this stuff in my documentary again. I was about to do a line that was too big for my body to handle, and I could have died. And my friend at the time was like, "Do the whole thing, or you don't get none at all." And I said a prayer and looked out the window, and Archangel Michael, like sword, shield, helmet, like looking down at me, like, "I am not happy about this, but I'm here and I'm protecting you." And then I was shown like in my addiction, I probably was out there for like at least 2, 3 years almost. I was shown how people were hijacked by lower energies and entities, and like shadow beings would, I saw one so-called friend of mine, this being that looked like the Grim Reaper, a shadow being, would jump in his body and he would snap and he would just not be himself. He'd, be attacking me and thinking I'm the police and like real paranoid. And so was shown how we're in a war right now, and these beings are hijacking people and jumping in people's body and making them act like lunatics. Um, and then, yeah, I got out, got off of that all and got out of that. Those were some of my experiences during that time. I have other ones, too, crazy stories,
Okay.
dodging.
And so it sounds like you grew up in a pretty religious household. Is that right?
Yeah, I've always, I've yeah, everybody, I'm born and raised Catholic, but for me, I've always just wanted to know more about this source we call God. Are you real? Are you good? It's hard for me to read the Bible. It's very controversial. It's like 1 second, this God is great, like this loving God, but then this other, what's going on? Like, it was hard for me to understand, but yeah,
Okay.
uh, when I finally got off of opiates and stuff, and I had I was really heartbroken at a time in my life after that. Started going to church like a lot, a couple times a week. Started taking prophetic healing, um, and deliverance classes and stuff. my feet were miraculously anointed with oil at one of it was their second soaking in the presence of the Lord ceremonies this church ever had. And I went to leave the church and the floors are carpeted, and started walking down the stairs, and I had to like grasp the rail, and was slipping and sliding in my feet. And I looked at the bottom of my shoes and they're covered in oil. Like, this is weird prophetic stuff, like, that I guess happens to people. I didn't know really happens to people, but I don't consider myself like a prophet, but these are prophetic things that are happening to me. And then they told me, like, the prophetic people in that church, one of my first prophetic words from them was, they saw me shattering shame off of groups of women. Like, what's a better way to put what I'm trying to do, with this TV show idea that I had? They said that I'd be a lot of multiple different prophetic people gave me the same word about like being this horse in a race, and there's going to come a day when like the gate comes down, I was just going to be running, and they saw me running in this race. And I've been running for like almost 9 years now, and documenting all this stuff. So like it makes sense now. But um then I started having these other experiences. I woke up with the Star of David hovering over my bed, this beautiful, sparkling, light made, sacred geometry presence of the Star of David, every color of the rainbow, like in and out, like hovering over me, taking up like my whole room, like in and out. And I woke up like vibrating my whole body to the core. Fell back asleep, woke up again. It was the five-pointed star, facing up, uh, doing the same thing. I woke up again, vibrating from the inside out, like, okay, it's that star, thank you, God, because I'm always asking God for the more that He's pouring out. And then I'm having these experiences. Uh, Woke up one night and a completely another night, and went to let my dog outside, saw light tunnels that haven't been opened since Atlantis that are being reopened up around the earth. Like, I looked over and was like, there's no freaking way. A plane just flew by and left a golden tunnel of light, and almost took off the roof of my house. Like, what is this? Like, I didn't even know what it was. I was just like, okay, God. I started looking around. I saw other ones like manhole size, coming up out of the ground diagonal into the sky. And I'm looking at these things like, oh God, this is beautiful. Thanks God for showing me this. What is this? The very next day I was revealed. I had been watching certain videos on YouTube, and I don't even remember what channel it was, but it was all about how these light tunnels that haven't been opened since Atlantis are being reopened up around the earth. It's part of the morphonogenic field of the earth. So the earth is becoming multidimensional again. These are like the ley lines that Stonehenge and the pyramids are on. Then, another night I woke up and saw a blue avian out my bedroom window. And if you look into Ashtiana Dean's work, it says that avians, one of their primary purposes are, and she called them like a bunch of different names, but one of the names was seraphim. And one of their primary purposes is to guard the horizontal ley lines that run east to west. Well, the biggest one I saw, you could fit a car in, and it ran east to west, parallel to the earth. And the avian being appeared underneath of where that is. And so I'm just like trying to put this stuff together. Like, what do you, you know what I mean? Like, there's gonna be a new heaven and a new earth while it's here, and I'm seeing this stuff, and now I'm seeing an avian being, and I didn't even know it was a blue avian. Like 2 days later, after seeing a blue avian, I was revealed Corey Good, ran across a video about Corey Good and all about the blue avians and how they're angelics. They're back on the planet. They're helping us, awaken and raise our consciousness and all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, there's a blue avian, so it's like,
Okay. Well, there's, one could say that the use of drugs definitely opened up certain channels in your mind to where you would be more likely to have visions and various things of things and
yeah,
tap
this is
into
when I was
stuff.
sober, though. This is when I was off of
Yeah, I
opiates.
know, but you had it in the past, is what I
Yeah.
mean. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
I didn't mean you were loaded at the time. I mean, that what it does is when you do various things, it opens up channels in your head, and then they don't just close again. You know what I'm saying? You're always going to have that sort of proclivity to
Mhm.
possibly have visions and so on and so forth. So, and then so there's one idea here that also may be useful, maybe not, but maybe, that actually James of the Wingmakers talked a lot about this, which is it's like the Earth is surrounded by these different fields, and one of them is like a river, like a matrix of a river of channeled and other kinds of information that's just making the rounds. And so people that are channeling or letting in various ideas and things are channeling from this river. And so they're all getting the same stuff over and over again. And it is going around and around. It's churning in essence. So a lot of times a person will think it's brand new, but it's not. It's already been, going down through the ages. But just saying that sounds a lot like what you're experiencing. So, which is fine. It's not like good or bad. It's just is, you know what I'm saying? So, I found that very interesting and useful, in terms of a paradigm of what's happening here on planet Earth. It is important to understand this perspective of the channels that you're tapping into, that those channels have information that's already kind of congealed into these formats, and psychics, channelers, etc., will tap into this stream, if you will. So a lot of what you're sounding like you're doing is tapping into that stream. Um, Now, in terms of your work, did you work by yourself, or did you work with a partner or a team, or how did you do your documentaries?
Mostly by myself. Had when I would do big, marches with the heroin epidemic and opiate epidemic, I would try to get one or two people to help me film, or help me fill out paperwork so I can get more interviews or stuff like that. But normally I've been a one-man band and just doing it on my own. It was really rough starting, and I was scared, and felt really alone and hard for other people to understand. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, you're hard for who to understand because you're actually talking to people that are doing these things, right? So they understand what they're talking about, in a sense.
Like
So that you mean that your audience or the
my
people you
friends
were
and stuff, like my family even, they're like,
oh,
what? I kept, yeah, I
okay.
kept
So
a
you're
line.
talking about the response of people that saw your work
Well,
or
no.
friends and family.
Well, like with the spiritual stuff, it's hard for, them to understand because like I kept quiet for a long time and I didn't tell anybody what was going on. Like because I didn't understand it. It was like I needed to understand what this is I'm being shown before I can even talk about it to anybody.
Sure.
So once I figured out, okay, this is this and that's that, because I'm not only being shown this and maybe collecting it from this river of light or life, but I'm being revealed through synchronicity what it is, or I wouldn't even know, you know what I
Sure.
mean? It's insane. So many stories, like I could just tell you, it's a lot.
Well, I think that the person, that listens to you is understanding that you're having these experiences. And, with all due respect, all my audience is going to be to some degree having their own experiences. And so, we can talk about those if there's a reason to talk about any particular one. But I think just since we have limited time here, just to select um, crucial life experiences that might have had a big effect on what you did later or something like that. So, in terms of the work you've done, so it's mainly for the past 8 years, as you say. And is that when you started the website and then you started posting your videos on your website, but you don't post them on Rumble? Do you post them, or did you post them on YouTube and have trouble getting them
Yeah,
on YouTube?
I was kicked off of YouTube. So yeah, I just in this last 2 years just got the Awaken and Unite. It used to be the name for before this was Stripped Clean Television with a Higher Purpose. Because of the whole, the women and all that. I was helping strip clean television, have it be purposeful television, and, kind of went along with the whole, helping the dancers and stuff idea. But I changed that just because it's evolved and became something different. But I'm still trying to go towards that vision and acquire a house or find this house from my vision. Maybe I feel like somebody knows where this house is. Somebody in divine time might reveal this to me, or I need to, be able to get the money to find it and acquire it. And I do have resources to, acquire traffic victims to try to help them and reform them. But, obviously there's a lot of work to be done yet to get to that point.
Okay, so have you established, like, I don't know, a Patreon or a Venmo or something like that where people can donate to contribute to your idea of starting a house?
Yeah, I have a donates page where I also I can do prophetic ministry and healing remotely.
Okay.
Uh, and you know,
See if this is
not
the right link.
charge yet for that, but I haven't really had anybody, reach out to me yet. But I have a donates page. I do mind, body, soul workshops and events. If you wanted me to come do a mind, body, soul workshop, to really connect with each other's hearts and open each other's hearts, and then do singing and drumming and, teach people, how to give prophetic words and stuff, because one prophetic word can change someone's entire life. It's helped me and, changed mine in ways. And yeah, I got some testimonials on there, some really good ones. Some miracle
Okay.
healing stuff.
So let me see if I can get this back on the screen. So this is your donate page. The way you've got it set up is for them to just put in their name and donate there.
Go back a little bit. There's the events, I guess. There's a donate, and then
The beginning, it starts. So
mind, body, soul, manage on a heart, my mission. This one right here, private sessions, booking and events. So there's that one too, and then you can book a session there.
Okay.
And there's testimonials at the bottom of that page. There's the events that I'll be at next, the Mind Nexus one, and then Full Disclosure Now conference coming up. So yeah, and there's some testimonials.
Okay. Whoops. So actually, I have to go back for. I think you have another link in there. I was going to try to bring forward, but okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah. So just wanted to show people what you have to offer. That way, if they're interested, they can help, right?
Yeah, definitely need some help. I need a small army for this one.
Okay, well, so I don't know why, but this is not going back to your website. Let me see. I do this, yeah, then maybe it'll show up. Is this it? No. Okay, there it is. Okay. So this is your sessions. And so if I go back one, yeah, okay. And then the donate page that we were already on earlier. I was just, so is there an email address to contact you? Is that on the sessions?
Yeah, it's on the private sessions.
Okay, so let's bring people's attention to that then, if we can find it. So right here's your book. I see, Awaken and Unite at yahoo.com, right?
Yep.
Okay, fine. And so that you're going to be at the same conference I am, which is called Mind Nexus. And that is happening in Tucson, Arizona, September 27th and 28th. And actually, you have the link. Maybe I can get over to that website because that would be a good thing to talk about a little bit if we can. And you actually know the organizer, isn't that right?
Yeah, Desiree Foley became a good friend of mine. I went out and filmed her at her house and went around and drove around and talked to her, and she exposed this stuff to me, and I was just floored at what I learned, you know. And so I made a whole documentary with her and went to another event and filmed her and made sure to like get her story on a documentary for her. So that's on my Truth or Content page is her full documentary, but also there's a part in my Inside the Great Awakening documentary on targeted individuals along with other targeted individuals.
Okay. Now I'm just going to add this link here for this conference and hope it's going to work. You never know. All right. So let me see. Am I still sharing my screen or not? I guess not. So hold on a second. First, I'll show people. Actually, I put this on my Telegram. So this is every speaker that is speaking there. I don't know how many speakers they have, quite a few though, I think. And so this is my that banner they made me. So which it's kind of nice. And you use a code to buy a ticket. So that's mindnexuslive.com.
Yeah.
And that's a little different URL than the other one I've got. No, maybe it's the same. Okay. So then I'll stop sharing that. And then I'll bring this other thing up here. Just to show people. So this is the Mind Nexus Conference website, and one of the organizers is Desiree Foley, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then they're going to have a lot of speakers. It looks like so, and this is Desiree, and let me see. I guess they've got other hosts and so on. So you can explore John Hall. Now, was he the one that died?
No, Dr. Robert Duncan.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why I got those two mixed up. Okay. So yeah, it's very sad about Robert Duncan. And so you said you did do an interview with him?
He's in there exposing it on a big screen. I did not meet him in person, nor did I talk to him. He's pretty hard to reach, I guess. But yeah, he's
Robert Duncan. Well, he's passed on, right? He died.
So
okay,
he's actually on screen talking about it at a conference I was at.
I see. Okay, and so obviously he was specializing in mind control, isn't that right?
Yeah, he worked for DARPA, the DoD, and CIA.
Right.
He was creator actually of this technology, and when he realized how harmful it was and what it can do to people, he started exposing it.
Right. I don't know if his website would still be available or not. Do you know what his website was called?
No. I don't know that he had a website, but probably look up his name. Yeah.
This is another guy that has a website. Never mind. Okay, well, I won't try to find it right now. But anyway, I think Robert Duncan did have a website, as I recall. And I think I might have interviewed him years ago, but it's been a while. And I think John Hall, was on I did interview him, and I think they cover some similar stuff. So just saying. Now, when you're, it takes money to obviously go on the road and you're using a camera, right? And whatever microphones and things like that, right?
Yeah, I started out with a chip clip and some iPhone headphones and a phone to film with, and that evolved to a cord mic from my phone. It's real simple setup. I mean, it's pretty idiot proof. Yeah, and some cheap, lightweight tripods, or I would have never been able to get all this stuff. Like I couldn't carry on a big camera and have captured all this stuff in that kind of divine time. There's no way. So yeah, I just walked in faith and, you know, used used my phone and as my weapon to fight back, I guess.
Well, that's how I started out. So we did the same thing. And, actually never graduated to very sophisticated equipment, actually. My
Yeah.
daughter's
Why,
sleeping, having a dream in the background. So, um,
oh,
anyway, yeah, so we did the same thing and we toured parts of the world as it happened, in a very low budget kind of way. But there was two of us, thank God, because carrying around equipment is really, I mean, very difficult. I think. It took a lot out of me. I mean, do you do the editing as well of your own stuff?
yeah, I have another probably 6 months to finish this opiate epidemic or more. Like that's the only thing I don't have on my website that I have completed. I'm still working on packaging that and whatnot, and it's just been a labor of love. Whenever I can work on it, I'm trying to work on it. It's been tough.
Okay. So I've showed people the donate page so that if they want to help contribute to your work. So do you go around, do you maybe speaking events or show your documentaries or do you do anything like that?
Yeah, now that I have it all up there to wake people up, like I'm trying to get it out there. Like I really need help just getting it out there because I don't have like a platform. It is its own platform. So it's like, how do I get this out there? I really need to start my own podcast. I've been I will shortly, but it's like I still have so much editing to do and I can't do. I'm trying to do everything and it's hard. Um, so I'm just trying to go on other people's podcasts to try to get it out as much as I can and events. I just spoke at the Full Disclosure Now conference, fulldisclosuremovement.org, and we'll be there next year speaking and doing prophetic words and healing for people and doing a mind, body, soul workshop again next year. It's going to be in July. So mark that on your calendar too. And yeah, just whoever will let me come to their events and try to get this out there. I really could use a hand getting it out there. I've done a lot of work and I just want to do what I can to help people wake up and make change too.
Okay, well, very good. So I guess that's all that we'll just do for today. I do want people to, if you have any questions for Amanda just before we close this down, let me know. And your website again. Could you just put the name of it out there, just verbally? It's called what?
Awakenandunite.com, or
Okay.
you can go to amandajoanofhearts.com and it goes to the same site and just like
Okay.
really push through those pages. There's a lot to learn, a lot on there. And yeah, wake up the people. Please share it out and put me on. I have a YouTube and all the outlets on there, all my social media outlets. Just subscribe to them if you can so that I can, start doing my own podcast and start, trying to do more with what I can.
Okay, very good. All right. So thank you for being on my show and for sharing some of your work. And I encourage people to watch your documentaries and hopefully we can talk in the future, um, you know,
Yeah.
about this and so on. So thanks everyone for watching and take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, Carrie.